think we need to drop down from sort of the intellectual understanding into the emotional, the embodied cognition, where we have a lot of wisdom and data. So one thing that I do is I have the people that I work with take a daily survey, and it's really to stoke that interoceptive awareness, wanting to know more about what's happening inside. And it also syncs with some of the latest neuroscience around, number one, our brain making predictions, and it's making those predictions based on past experiences. So it's too much energy, too much complexity for the brain to assess everything that's happening and say, oh, based on all of this, we will respond with this, So it really kind of like gets a snapshot and says, oh, we've been here before. We should dump a little cortisol right now. This is, we've seen this game before. So for me, one of the key things that I've been trying to do is create some emotional granularity. And that's just a fancy way of saying, instead of saying I'm mad, glad, stressed, upset, very, generic terms to describe oneself, I give them a long list of words: irritated, tired, overwhelmed, it's a very long list of words. And once a day I ping them and say, hey, how you doing right now? What are you feeling right now? And so they have to actually be very descriptive, very nuanced about how they feel. And then I say, where, if you could identify in your body, where are you most feeling that? Is it your head? Is it your shoulders, your heart, your gut, or other? You can choose something else yourself. So I find that practice is really, really beneficial on that 1% better type of model. And then I ask, okay, so what storyline are you connected to right now? Because I want us to tease apart and detach a little bit from that interpretation of what we feel with the actual sensation of what we feel. And then with all of that stuff, and I know it sounds like a long process, but it's really about 1 minute. After all that, I say, all right, well, based on all that, what do you think the best thing you can do right now? The most productive thing? Is it take a nap? Is it drink some water? Is it call a friend? Is it, And so what I, at the bottom line is more awareness about what's happening within, and then more control over how to respond. And I think that, to me, that cycle, that process is really, it's really impactful. And then after 30 days, you can sort of look over that data and say, hey, let's look at your trend lines here. And people really love that because it's their life in action. And I think that is something that really does make people feel like, wow, this is my unique experience.